wasn't recording for this first part, but I'm recording it now, so yeah. It's monument time, and I wanted a cow over there. I know that mining fatigue is gonna be really annoying, and I still have no clue how to beat this thing. This is my first time tackling a monument. I'm scared. I very much don't want to do this, but I think it'd be really cool to say I've tackled one. In order for me to actually have an obligation to go through with this, I'm dedicating this monument to ph1lza Minecraft. There. Now I have to get this done. My cow had a staring contest with a dolphin, and after swimming over, I built up on the corner of the monument, slapped a couple ladders on there, and started making an outline. I wanted my cow up there too, so I made a little place for him to go before realizing I had mining fatigue. I went back up to my cow, only to realize that Minecraft didn't like it when I tried to empty my bucket, so I emptied the bucket at the bottom of the ocean before getting my milk. I brought the cow back and dragged him up the ladder and tethered him to the fence, only to realize that the little lad just started bouncing. Oh yeah, this lad has a name now, and it's Little Lad. Either way, I couldn't make a platform below, or else Little Lad would just freaking die, so I didn't make one, instead jumping off my ladder and building my outline as a guide to know where I should start building up the sand. And then I did the math wrong or some crap, because I wasn't aligned and I had to go back and fix that. I started making a place for me to put all my shulker boxes and whatnot, as well as a place for me to put my bed, which I knotted at before breaking it and putting it somewhere else. Speaking of shulker boxes, I filled up those things with sand and couldn't climb up my ladder. I was stuck in the flying position because elytra. I used a few extra blocks on hand to make a tiny platform and fix that up. And then I started on my sand outline, doing all 4 corners. I started to big brain it by breaking the base outlines as I went. And then I just gave up to risk death by guardian beam. And then I realized there was a smarter way to do this. I finished it, and then I started brewing some invis potions. For that, I need a fermented spider eye. Ignore the bad hotbar, I was out of full screen. I ran off to the jungle in hopes of finding some mushrooms, checked a mystery cave, got jump scared by a zombie, a creeper blew up 2 blocks away from me and I only took half a heart, another one blew up and I lost no health. I was just as confused in the moment. I explored the random oak place on top of the mesa because I'm looking for mushrooms. I mean, the dealer said to meet someone. I gave up and went to bed, but not before seeing the Elder Guardian wiggle around. In the morning, I went to the nether waste and instantly found some mushrooms. I made my fermented spider eye and slapped it into the brewing stand. And then I got my local brewery achievement. I took the invis and started breaking all of the kelp in the area. I found out the hard way that if you're placing sand and it lands on kelp, it'll break. So I had to break it all by hand if I even wanted to dream about getting this outline done. Oh, and I also totally had an aqua affinity villager. Did I use it? Absolutely not. I didn't want to stop working on the monument for fear it would break my concentration. And then something did break my concentration. Taxes. My dad came in with the form and was like, hey, you want to do this? It'll only take 30 minutes. I got a free 50 bucks, so I guess it was worth it. That's still 30 minutes I could have spent working on my monument, so screw you government, let me just play my block game please. Anyways, kelp was done now. I ran home and made a longer invis potion. Oops, I made it splash. I always mix up what gunpowder and redstone do, but I got it fixed anyways. After that, I prepared for battle. I got some doors, splashed the invis, and went in. I got mining fatigue and drank some milk to get rid of it, and then promptly got murdered by guardians. Now I'm only going to include the parts where I died, and a brief description as to why. I got shot by a guardian trying to get my stuff. I drowned, death by another guardian, was trying to get my sword, honorable mention here, and I think that's the end of dying. I got more mushrooms to make another invis potion, and then I didn't make the potion, instead smacking face first into my ladder. After actually getting back, I questioned why I got killed by the guardians back there. And then I figured it out. Once I got back, I chugged my invis and went to go kill the elderly. I learned my lesson from last time, so instead of drinking milk to break the block, I just broke it with mining fatigue and killed that final guardian. And then I went right back to the riveting activity of placing sand. While doing my own thing, guardians got caught in the pit, and I laughed at them from afar before dropping down and missing every swing at them. And then I noticed that the wandering trader was copying me, but on purpose rather than on accident. The only solution for that was murder. And then I went right back to placing sand. After a bit, I ran out, like, fully. So I had to run back to the desert to mine some. I killed a wandering trader for not having good trades, and then got smacked with karma when my shovel broke. I got it back pretty quickly though, so it's whatever. I went back to the ph1lza monument and was met with some pillagers. I didn't want to deal with them, so I ran away and then they started swimming off. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I don't think they're supposed to do that. Headphone warning here, I forgot to mute my mic. What? What? Okay. Focus! I made it home safe and sound, and while placing a bunch of sand, a butt-ton of guardians came up to meet me. I was gonna go fight them, but then I realized I have no food, so I ran home to make some food. And then when I got back, they all despawned anyways, so get ratioed. I win. I got back to placing my sand and was so insanely close to finishing before I ran out of sand. I quit the game. A few hours later, I came back to heal my shovel, and to cheer myself up, I watched a try not to laugh video. Here are the only ones that made me laugh. And then I laughed at a wandering trader's AI. I got back from mining sand and was very confused why I saw particles. When I smacked him, I realized it was the trader a little too late. I ignored my crime and went right back to finishing the monument, and then went straight to bed. In the morning, I saw a mystery shadow on the mountain, and I thought it was going to be something cool, but it was just a cave. I put away my sand, let little lad down from the fence, and then mined down the cobblestone outline. Since this monument was a dedication to ph1lza, I wanted to make it kind of obvious. This image is my reference, but I'm going to be taking my own little spin on it. I calculated how much quartz I was going to need and instantly wanted to run away from the project. I had to deal with 15,000 quartz, which divided down to 235 blocks, or like 5.5 double chests of quartz. So, not unmanageable. I went off to the nether to get that sorted, and I found a baby strider on a strider. Piglin in front of me despawned, and then the ghast attacked me. And then I would blame this on my bad mouse, but nah, my mouse is fine. I'm just garbage with a bow. And then some lava made me poo my pants. And now, I want you to experience this clip with the same amount of pain that I did. That's all. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I saw a pigman group and they reminded me of the SBI. I ran into lava and lit off a firework. And then I almost died to more lava. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if I died and lost all my levels in quartz? Luckily I didn't, but it would have been funny. A cow made its way over to the nether and I trapped him there forever. I came home and crafted up my quartz, but then accidentally made quartz bricks. Guess I gotta incorporate that into the build now. Hopefully I can make them back to normal. Welp, okay, thanks Minecraft. I started building up the monument, not really wanting to wait for all 5.5 chests to be full, so that ruined my math, but whatever. I found a use for the quartz blocks and slowly got rid of the arches around the monument. At first I was like, ph1lza, why did you break down those arches? They look cool and you're incorrect. And then I broke them and realized why. I'll admit, it looks better this way. I went back to the nether for more quartz and had 69 levels. And then I nearly died. Right after that, I couldn't hit a single shot on a ghast, and so I just ran away. There was a baby pigman on a chicken, and I trapped them both, marking down the coordinates to come back later. And then I tried to kill a ghast, but then succeeded when I couldn't even see the thing. I left on a high note and made more blocks of quartz, very careful not to make more bricks. I placed them at the monument and made some stairs and tested out which direction I wanted the stairs to face. I quickly realized that I would save resources if I faced them towards each other, and that's what I opted for. I kept saving resources as I went, using slabs instead of full blocks where I could get away with it. And then I waddled back and forth on a prismarine block before getting very distracted and mining the libraries. You can totally yell at me for using a pickaxe, but I have fortune on this pick, and I didn't want to waste any wood for future lecterns. Fear not though, I went back to an axe after I got a stack of shelves. After tackling that second library, I took my spoils back home and put all of the books by the librarian villagers. I hopped through all the loops on the side of the ph1lza monument, and then moved on to the top, putting in the last of the quartz bricks. Then I wiggled back and forth along the side before actually doing something productive. I went back to the nether and face planted some lava. After that I phased over a cliff, only to get punched by piglins, and then I found netherite. Neato! I got a home right next to the redstone. I placed out more quartz and then jumped on the ledges before knocking the stairs out of the way. I crafted up some buckets and started putting water in the stairs for a little splash of color against the white of the quartz. Only after I finished placing the water in each individual stair did I realize I could do this. I didn't want the water flowing down into my face when I finished the sand, so I knocked that out of the way before putting some blocks at the end of the stairs. There was only one thing I could think to do by the end of this, and that was adding a border around the monument. Under the water though, I wanted it to be made of stone, so I ran home to pick up some cobblestone and furnaces so I could get that going. After that, I got to work punching my way into the monument sand, and unfortunately adding waterlogged stairs to my build was starting to look like a bad idea. But I kept going anyways, finding my way into the monument itself and getting rid of the sand from there. While working on an expanded outline, I came across a spider spawner. Who knows if I'll ever get around to fixing this thing up, but for right now it's just going to be an awkward unintentional addition to the monument. The ocean was also looking a little funky, but instead of worrying about it, I straight up left the monument to get more lava for my furnaces, only to get attacked by a ghast. Anyways, status update on the monument. I tested out the differences between a prismarine path and a prismarine brick path, and went with the worst option. Both. Don't worry, I fixed it eventually, and I nearly died trying. I tried to keep being productive by adding stairs to the monument, but I didn't have enough. To redirect my anger into productivity, I went home to replace my nether portal. I wanted to put a portal in the monument, but if I dare scooch the portal one block too far, it might mess up the whole system I've got going. And then when I was about to light the last portal, I sat there for a whole 5 seconds before lighting it and remaking it in the nether. After that, I juggled getting rid of the water on the inside of the monument, as well as breaking the sand on top of it. A guardian popped in there for a second to say hello, and I caught this gem. Oh wait, my mic's on. Okay, I promise you, there it is! There's the cow! What? Oh, you're little lad. That's little lad. Okay, cool. I was freaking out, because I was like, bro, where the crap did this cow come from? You know? And it's just little lad. Little lad died! Little lad! So yeah, anyways, I finished getting rid of the sand and I got to work draining and mining out the monument. Once that was done, I started working on a natural lighting type deal, and then watched a guardian die. I wrapped up some last second details around the monument and fixed up a water elevator to go down and into the monument. Unfortunately, it let some guardians spawn, but I could care less. I'm keeping this elevator even if it kills me. I lit up the monument and set up a little storage area. After that, I moved in a butt ton of blocks that I really didn't want to worry about. Once I was done, I decided to dedicate the monument on paper. I can say this is for ph1lza all I want, but that doesn't mean poop. While looking for some feathers, I opened the same chest 3 times. After not being able to find any, I had to kill some chickens anyways, and since I had to kill for this book, it's gonna get a masterpiece to go along with it. And then I made some ph1lza colored glass for this display case. This is a dedication to the creator of Minecraft, ph1lza. Woot woot. Okay. Is this just real life, or is this fantasy? Hopefully you get the rest of what the dedication is, but I'm not about to get copyrighted, so you're more than welcome to look through it yourself. And finally, thank you for attending this dedication. Woot woot. And then I remembered that lecterns have a redstone signal. I placed down the dragon egg and wrapped up the rest of the organization in there. After that, I gave little lad a proper burial. Thank you, Minecraft, for making it rain. I'm glad you understand how sad this is. And then I accidentally gave him a gravestone that looked like a before giving him a proper gravestone. I threw some wheat seeds at little lad and then ran off to go bother some villagers. I wanted to be fancy this time and take the nether, also because I'm almost out of rocket, and nearly died multiple times. I took all of my anger out on a poor villager and went to bed. Hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and turn on notifications. Subscriptions don't really do anything anymore. It's all about the bell now. I'm gonna go mourn the loss of little lad. Goodbye. I drank mining of